There are places on earth that do not yield to time. They do not surrender to the light. They live in the shadows, wrapped in silence, and guarded by centuries of faith, power, and incalculable secrets. The Vatican is one of those places, but we are not talking about the golden basilicas or the art-filled galleries you see on postcards. No, we are talking about what lies beneath them, deep underground, where the foundation of the city-state sinks into the history of Rome. There is more than just stone and earth. There are vaults, and then there is the vault. Think of every empire that has ever ruled, every pope who has ever reigned, every decision that has changed the world map. Now, imagine that the original letters, the sealed treaties, and the crucial evidence of every one of those moments were not burned, lost, or scattered by the wind. They were systematically collected, catalogued, and sealed away. For centuries, legends have whispered of an archival abyss, a place where history, faith, and mystery merge into a labyrinth of files, artifacts, manuscripts, and treasures, all concealed beneath the planet's most influential institution. We call it the Apostolic Archive, but for many, it is the greatest secret chamber in the world, the ground zero of global curiosity. Some scholars see it as humanity's greatest library, the untouched memory of civilizations. Others believe it holds explosive secrets, knowledge about lost artifacts that would redefine archaeology, ancient maps that would change the history of exploration, or even correspondence too powerful to ever see the light of day. It is said to hold the truth about fallen empires, the origin of myths, about knowledge the Church chose to preserve rather than reveal. Today, we will descend into those corridors. We will expose the most fascinating legends. We will separate the real history from the rampant speculation. This is the story of Vatican City, the weight of its history, and the riches, both of gold and of knowledge, that are said to be stored in its most secret vaults. Prepare yourself, the door is about to open. Are you ready for what might be inside? Block 1. The inaccessible vault, where 85 kilometers of history are locked away. Few places on earth inspire as much reverence, as much speculation, and frankly, as much fear as the location we are now heading to. Forget the high walls of the Holy See. The true power and mystery are not at the top, but deep underground. We are talking about the Vatican Apostolic Archive, formerly known until 2019 as the Vatican Secret Archive. The name, by itself, already conjures an image of iron gates and forbidden whispers. The archive is not just a library. It is a fortress of silence, built to protect what the Church considers its most priceless treasure, its own institutional memory. It has existed for centuries, growing with the power of the Church, engulfing the records of kings, emperors, crusades, councils, and the personal correspondence of popes. The sheer scale is frankly incomprehensible. We are talking about dozens of linear kilometers of shelving. Some calculations estimate that, if you took every scroll, letter, and book and placed them end to end, they would cover almost 85 kilometers, 53 miles of distance. Imagine walking through an infinite tunnel, where every step represents 100 years of world history. And what exactly fills all that space? It's not just theology, it is the history of the West. Within these vaults rest the letter from Henry VIII requesting the annulment of his marriage, which led to the founding of the Anglican Church, the complete proceedings of the Inquisition trials against Galileo, the papal bull that divided the New World between Spain and Portugal, records of diplomatic missions dating back to the 13th century, including correspondence to the Pope from leaders as distant as the Mongols. Every single document is a piece of a puzzle that defines our modern understanding of the world. Access, however, is the point of friction. For centuries, it was absolutely forbidden to anyone who was not a church-approved scholar, and even those privileged few had to still have rigidly controlled access. The archive is not a public space. There are no tourist visits. There are no behind-the-scenes tours. The researcher who manages to get permission is treated as if they were entering a bank vault. The process is slow, meticulous, and restricted only to documents that are more than 75 years old, which means that vast stretches of the Church's recent history remain, to the outside world, completely invisible. This strict control is the origin of the myth. The restriction fuels the speculation. Why so much secrecy? Why hide records of wars and treaties if they don't contain something? Explosive. If the Vatican keeps the correspondence of the Holy Office, what other older and more dangerous documents are locked away? This is where the narrative divides. For the Church, the goal is preservation, protecting fragile materials from deterioration, excessive handling, and theft. But, for the popular imagination, the goal is concealment. It is this dichotomy between the world's greatest historical collection and its almost total inaccessibilities that transforms the archive from a mere library into a legend. A vault of mysteries that, for most of us, is literally the place where no one gets in. What is inside is not just paper. It is the record of authority. It is the justification of a power that has lasted 2 millennia. And this truth, locked deep underground, is, in fact, the greatest wealth the Vatican possesses. And now that we understand the scale of this vault, we can finally ask ourselves, what do the legends say it truly hides? Block 2. The Vatican's Lost Ark. The legends of gold and forbidden artifacts. The Apostolic Archive is the largest repository of institutional history in the world. That is a fact, but when the truth is kept under lock and key for centuries, the imagination fills in the gaps with things more glittering than paper and ink. This is where we leave the realm of verifiable history and enter the territory of the Vatican's juiciest legends. These are not official claims, but stories passed down by frustrated academics, conspiracy theorists, and historians who simply refuse to believe that so much secrecy is only about protecting fragile documents. Over time, the stories of hidden treasures and legendary artifacts have grown, each one more audacious than the last. The corridors of the archive, so the legends claim, do not just lead to paper shelves. They lead to actual treasure chambers. Amateur historians and myth hunters speculate that the Vatican did not only archive the knowledge, but also the physical artifacts that this knowledge describes. Urban legends and niche theories speak of vaults containing ancient maps that would rewrite the history of cartography, perhaps indicating transatlantic routes centuries before Columbus. Complete records of vanished empires such as Atlantis or Perdila, civilizations preserved from destruction by zealous monks. But the legend that most fuels the imagination and that evokes the most luxurious images, that of the collection of art and diplomatic gifts. Think of 1500 years of popes receiving tributes from monarchs, sultans, and heads of state around the world. Where are those gifts that are not displayed in the Vatican museums? It is said that a vast collection of rare jewels, forgotten gold statues, encrusted reliquaries, and lost master artworks rests in climate-controlled underground chambers. Not artworks covered in dusty sheets, but literal riches. Gifts that are either too rare or too politically sensitive to be displayed publicly, or perhaps simply forgotten in the sheer immensity of the complex. This hidden collection of diplomatic memorabilia and artifacts is believed to hold a value that transcends monetary assessment. It is the value of proven history, and what makes these legends so powerful. The absence of proof, the Vatican does not need to confirm or deny. It just needs to keep access restricted, and by doing so, the secrecy acts as a magnet. With every year that passes without the archive being fully opened, the legend that it is hiding a lost ark full of secrets and gold, instead of diminishing, only grows stronger. After all, why would such a powerful and wealthy institution keep something under 7 locks if it wasn't either invaluably precious or dangerously explosive? What is legend and what is real? That is the question that haunts generations of us. If the archive contains only historical documents, why the fear of fully exposing them? If it contains treasures, what kind of power do they hold? In the end, these stories are more than just adventure tales. They are a reflection of our collective fascination with what power and the church might be hiding from us. Block 3. The power stronger than gold. Documents that shaped the world. While the legends in block to seduce us with the promise of gold and legendary artifacts, it is crucial to return to the core of the matter. The Apostolic Archive, as mysterious as it is primarily a collection of documents, and in this realm, one thing is undeniable. Knowledge is unquestionably the greatest treasure. No gold vault can rival the power of a piece of paper that holds the justification of an empire, the verdict of a trial, or the strategy of a war. Inside the archive, they don't just keep letters. They keep the original records of authority, the res de papabus, that, during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, were essentially supranational laws. Documents that defined borders, legitimized crowns, and ultimately guided the world through some of its most uncertain periods. Think of the impact of a 15th century letter that draws lines of territorial demarcation. That letter is not just history, it is the foundation of modern geopolitics. The power of these documents lies in their ability to shape narratives. Letters from emperors, records of ancient court proceedings, and diplomatic agreements that have never been publicly displayed offer an unfiltered glimpse into the backstage of history. They reveal the true motivations, the fears, and the secret negotiations behind great events. The value of information, when locked away for centuries, does not diminish. It crystallizes. While a gold statue can be melted down, the truth contained in a scroll remains, waiting for the right moment or the right historian to be revealed and potentially rewrite what we think we know. This is why access control is so fierce. He who controls the narrative of the past controls power in the present. Many see this control as a form of preservation. The Church argues, with some reason, that these fragile documents, made of papyrus and parchment, need to be protected against deterioration caused by light, handling, and humidity. But others see the concealment of sensitive information that could shake the current, doctrinal or diplomatic foundations of the Church. Not necessarily secrets from another world, but inconvenient truths about the exercise of human power. In the end, every page in the Apostolic Archive carries the weight of human history. It contains the record of what we believe, what we create, what we fear, and what we celebrate. Some observers may only see mystery in the locked doors. Others, more pragmatic, see methodical preservation. But the conclusion is always the same. In the Vatican, knowledge is the most valuable currency. It is a wealth that cannot be stolen or spent, only controlled. And the mere act of keeping it locked up confers incalculable power upon the one who holds the key. Block 4. Shock theories. Forbidden science and the archives no one can see. If Block 3 dealt with the historical power of proven documents, Block 4 plunges into the darker, more viral territory. The theories. These are not historians' claims. They are narratives that flourish on the fringes, fueled by the Vatican's absence of transparency and our millennia-old fascination with the forbidden. They are the rumors that persist, transforming the Apostolic Archive from a historical repository into a Pandora's box of conspiracies. The most popular theories go beyond simple geopolitics. They delve into the esoteric and the Some believe the vaults hold documents that reveal forgotten scientific discoveries, perhaps records of ancient civilizations, with advanced technology that the Vatican suppressed to maintain control of the creation narrative. Think of inventions or cosmological breakthroughs that could overturn centuries of religious teachings. There are rumors of apocryphal texts there, not just the well-known ones, but perhaps entire gospels or books that directly contradict the New Testament, threading the theological foundation of the faith. Another line of popular portrayed in movies and books revolves around legendary artifacts and beings. Some swear that the Vatican not only collects documents about prehistoric civilizations, but that it possesses physical proof of their existence. More extreme theories even suggest that the archive holds samples of extraterrestrial life, or detailed records about the appearance of biblical figures that could drastically alter the popular perception of divine intervention. These rumors transform the archive from a library into a vault of dangerous and supernatural antiquities. And then there is the legend that touches the soul of the institution itself. The idea that the archive holds evidence of massive corruption or historical crimes committed under the Church's mantle. Documents that are not just inconvenient, but outright criminal. Secret reports of abuses, obscure financial maneuvers, or involvement in events that official history conveniently chose to erase. While the Church has opened some controversial files over the years, the fact that recent access remains limited continues to fuel suspicion that the most compromising documents of all are being protected at all costs. It's not a question of whether the treasure is made of gold, but rather whether it is made of guilt. None of these theories can be confirmed by any credible historian, and it is important to stress this. But the absence of proof does not kill the legend. In fact, it strengthens it, because where information is scarce, and the institution is perpetually mysterious, the public's imagination is encouraged to create its own truths. Myths are built upon mystery, and the Vatican, with its locked doors, ensures that this mysterion, therefore, the legends will never die. Block 5. The True Wealth. The last guardian of human memory. We have walked the infinite corridors, examined the documents that shaped kings, and plunged into the legends of gold and esoteric theories. Now, as the light begins to return over Vatican City, we must circle back to what truly matters: the fundamental value of the Apostolic Archive. Regardless of whether its vaults are filled with Templar gold or alien secrets, which is highly unlikely, its true, undeniable worth lies in preservation. The Catholic Church, through its archive, has acted as the largest and most efficient strongbox of human history, through centuries of war, plagues, fires, and the collapse of empires. While libraries were burned and cultures were wiped away, the Vatican maintained a continuous record. Fragile documents, which under other circumstances would have been lost forever, were systematically protected from deterioration, looting, and obliteration. It is not just a history of the Church, but an external memory of Western civilization. Think of it as a genetic repository for culture. It is a library of everything humanity, over the last 2 millennia, has believed, created, feared, or celebrated. The pages contain the voices of the humble and the powerful, the strategies of conquerors, and the pleas of the defenseless. It is the foundation of knowledge about the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, and the beginning of the modern era. Without the Apostolic Archive, our understanding of countless historical events would be drastically poorer, based only on secondary and incomplete sources. This is the duality that makes the archive so legendary. Officially, it is a storage facility, meticulously organized, where the highest priority is the survival of the material. The historians who work there do not search for treasures. They search for the source, the proof, the original word. But for the world's imagination, with its locked doors and its cloak of mystery, it will never be just an archive. It will always be a treasure chamber. And it is precisely this tension that gives it lasting power. The fact that one institution holds the key to so much of our collective history, and its decision to manage and ration that access, ensures that the myth remains. The Vatican is a guardian, and what they guard, beyond any gold or parchment, is the memory of how the world became what it is. History is a true treasure, and its preservation is a silent, real wealth of the Vatican. And that truth, by itself, is more valuable than any legend the imagination can conceive. And so, we've reached the end of our journey through the Vatican's subterranean corridors. We've separated historical truth from captivating legend. The Apostolic Archive is a treasure trove, not of gold, but of knowledge and human memory. But the biggest revelation isn't what's in the vaults, but why we're so obsessed with what could be. In an age with no privacy, the very existence of a place holding ancient mysteries is a treasure. The Vatican's secrecy isn't just security, it's cultural resistance. It reminds us that there's power in concealment, and that imagination thrives on doubt, not certainty. This duality is the true magic of the Vatican. The rarest treasure in our modern world is secrecy, and the Vatican is its chief guardian. The mystery persists, the legends continue. But what do you think? Which legend is your favorite? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this journey, like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next chapter of the Hidden Treasure Files.